So in this video, I will go over a full guide on how to get big, and I'll show you the best method, the way to achieve this that most guys don't even know about. But before we begin, I must tell you my assumptions, right? So I assume that you are anywhere between 19 to 30-year-old man. You're skinny, you have low muscle mass, you're either working a part-time job plus going to university or school or whatever, or you just have a full-time job, right, straight away, and your short-term goal is basically to get closer to 70 kg or 154 pounds. One more thing, if you want to get the exact workout routines that I used to go from this to this, and you want to get results like these guys right here, top link in the description is the place for you. I promise to you. All right, so let's start with this video. What separates the losers from the winners? I think this is important to address first before we get into the practical steps and the practical actions that you need to take in order to achieve this goal. However, I think that you do not struggle with not knowing the information, not knowing what you need to do. You struggle with implementing the advice, and that comes mainly from your mindset, having a wrong mindset, and the next step that we're going to talk about, what is stopping you from being successful. So we're going to cover these two parts first, and then we're going to go into practical specific steps to do. So I'm going to give you some traits of the winners, right? Because I think it's helpful for you to know what do winners do in order to succeed, and basically just copy that and do that. Adopt those traits, right? Because it's easier for you to know, okay, what do winners do? Let me copy that and I'll achieve that. So this is what separates losers from the winners. Number one, consistency in doing the right things. You can be consistent in the wrong things too. This is what people don't get, right? You can be consistent in the wrong things, and that doesn't mean that if you are consistent, you're gonna get the results. It's not like that. You can be consistent in not showing up to the gym. That means you are literally not gonna get any gains. You're not gonna build muscle because you are consistent in not showing up to the gym. Right? Does that make sense? So you can be consistent in going to school, but you can be consistent in not paying attention to the class, the teacher, not paying attention to the homework that you need to do. You are consistent in not making your homework. You are consistent in not studying. Therefore, you're not going to pass the exam. So you can be consistent in going to the gym, but consistent in not doing the right exercises, consistent in not doing good technique, consistent in not hitting your protein, not eating the calories that you need to eat. So you can be consistent, but that's not enough in order to succeed. I hope you understand this. So consistency in doing the right things, and that's what I want to achieve with these videos, because you understand that you need to be consistent. That's easy, right? But being consistent with the right things, that's the hard part. So that's why I make this video today. So to show you the right things that you need to do, and then if you're consistent, you're going to achieve this. So have this switch. It's not just enough to be consistent, but consistent with the right things. Second thing is never give up, because this is like the ultimate thing, because you can go to the gym for a couple of years, not see very much results. If you quit, that's the end. That's the end right there. But if you don't quit, then there's no end, right? You can still achieve it. There's no end. So never give up. And here's another thing which is interesting. Don't care about the time. Winners don't usually care about the time that it takes. It's mostly a decision that they take. So we can boil all of this down into one simple thing. It's just a decision that you need to take. Are you willing to do the work without seeing much results in the short term, but getting the results in the long term? Are you willing to do the work without getting anything in return, or any much in return? That's the decision. It's basically a decision that you need to take. And that if you take today the decision, okay, I'm going to take this path, I'm going to show up to the gym, I'm going to do the right things, even though I'm not going to see results day after day, but in a couple of months, I'm going to start to see results. If you take that decision, then the rest is easy, because you know, okay, I'm doing this, I accepted it, so I'm just going to go with it. So if you're willing to do the work, you don't care about the time. The time will pass anyway. The time will pass anyway. In 1 to 2 years, you're probably going to still be in the same position. So you either have your dream body or not. Simple as that. And a good mindset to have is basically think of a really old man, 70, 80-year-old man, never been training before and all that stuff, but now he's starting to eat the right things and to train the right way. Do you think that he's going to make gains? Yes, probably, yes. A bit slow because, testosterone is going down and all that stuff, but he's going to make some gains. Whatever gains that he gets, he's going to get those gains. So if that man can do it, you can do it too, right? And these are all just linked to each other. It's not just one thing, but linked to each other. All right, now let's go over what is stopping you from being successful. Then we're going to go over bulking made easy and all that stuff. But what is stopping you right now in real time from actually being successful in this journey or bulking up, getting close to 70 kg and achieving your goal, getting big? Because it's probably not your first attempt on achieving this goal, on trying to get closer to 70 kg. You've probably tried before, but you didn't succeed. So let's see what is stopping you from being successful. Here's the thing. Besides the thing that I'm going to say, is probably because you didn't do the right things and you didn't learn and get the right information. But you can also see this in the next sentence. So you don't have a simple, doable, step-by-step plan that you can follow. Therefore, you struggle with being consistent because you are just guessing. You're just messing around. You don't know what really works, so you're trying a lot of stuff. And when you try a lot of stuff and you're not consistent with one thing, going back to the first lesson, you're consistent in trying a lot of things, not focusing on one thing, then you're just guessing. So to illustrate this and to make you actually visualize your situation right now and why you did not achieve this goal, I have for you swimming in an ocean without guidelines versus with guidelines analogy. So I'm gonna show you right now. I'm gonna illustrate to you. No, we need a page. Yeah. So imagine this is an ocean, right? This is an ocean, and you are right here in the middle of the ocean, right? And you want to get here. This is your goal right here, bulking up and all that stuff. So you want to get here. However, you don't have the guidelines. So this is why you didn't achieve this goal. Because if you don't know where to do, you've been trying a lot of stuff. So maybe you started in the right direction, but around here you stopped and you thought, okay, because you don't see the goal. You're just in the middle of the sea, but the goal is too far. You cannot see this line right here. You cannot see the sand. So maybe at this point you thought, okay, maybe this doesn't work. So then, okay, let me go in this direction. And you go a bit in this direction, then you stop. You're almost there, but then you switch. Okay, let me try this thing. And you go in that direction and then stop. Let me go back in this direction. Okay, let me go completely. Let me switch completely in this direction. And here, let me go here. Okay, and then come back and all that stuff. And all of a sudden you are in the same situation after months and months and months. So that's why you did not succeed, because you didn't have any guidelines, right? You're just in the middle of the ocean. You're trying to go here to achieve this goal, but you simply don't know in which direction to go. So you try a bunch of directions. However, let's say you are here, right? Again, same situation. You're trying to achieve this goal to get here. What if you have, right? What if you have the guidelines? So you have the direction and imagine you have in the ocean, you have those plastic things that, okay, some guidelines to show you, okay, go through this direction. Imagine, okay, you see these lines, okay, let me go here, okay, then let me do this, then let me get here, and boom, you got to this point. You didn't try going in all of these directions, right, random directions. You just followed the guidelines and got to that position right there. As simple as that. So that's why you did not succeed. You didn't have a plan to get here. You didn't have the right plan, one, and you didn't have an easy to follow plan. So that being said, let's go to the practical step. I hope now your mind is starting to understand, okay, this is what happens and this is why I did not succeed. So now clear your mind and adopt all the information that I'm going to tell you right now. So first of all, we need to talk about a surplus, right? Number one thing, we need a surplus, and a surplus is basically eating more than you need. I'm going to show you right now. So let's say your body uses whatever energy to perform all the work, physical work and all that stuff in a day. So if we measure that energy with calories, let's say it's 2000 calories, right? So that's how many you need, and you just maintain your body, you perform all the work in a day, and you got no calories left in a day. But then one day you eat a bit more, so you get more energy, and at the end of the day you've used all of this, but you got this left. So this is a surplus, right? This is the surplus. You eat more than you need, and this can be whatever, from 1 calorie to 500 calories or whatever. It can be whatever. It's just a surplus, more than you need. So that's one thing, that's a surplus. This right here, it's a surplus. And I like to explain this sorry, I like to explain this in a way that, okay, imagine you every single day you can eat 1 chocolate bar, and every single day you go to the store and you buy 1 chocolate bar. So every day you buy 1 chocolate and you eat 1 chocolate. But all of a sudden, let's say you go to the store right now and you start buying 2 chocolates. So you buy 2, every day you eat 1, so you're gonna have 1 left at the end of the day. That 1 left is a surplus. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna put it in the fridge, in the storage or whatever, and at the end of the month, at the end of the months and years, you're gonna have a bunch of chocolates there. That's a surplus, right? That's just for you a simple way to understand the surplus. And what happens if you don't have the surplus? Imagine you're trying to build a wall, and to build this wall, you calculated all that stuff, and you need 100 bricks. You know for sure that you need 100 bricks to complete this wall, but you only have 70 bricks. Is that possible? No. By physics, it's not possible, right? If I'm a bit sick, I'm gonna cough a bit throughout this video. So if you need to build a wall of 100 bricks and you have only 70, you cannot achieve a 100 bricks wall, right? That's logic. So you need the surplus, the extra things, the extra 30, let's say in this example, in order to complete the wall. How do you get the surplus? That's important too. So the rule of thumb that I like to teach people is, and that I use as well whenever I start bulking and doing this stuff, is I take my body weight in pounds, right? I take my body weight in pounds and then multiply it by 15. This is a little bit more calculation. There's another way you can multiply it by 16 and then you start from there. But this is a more, yeah, you can use whatever method. If you don't want to do more calculation, then multiply it by 16, start eating that number. Or you can get, I would say a more, not more accurate, but I like this method more. So you multiply by 15 first, and then you add about anywhere from 150 to 300. So you take your body weight in pounds, multiply it by 15. To the result, you add anywhere from 150 to 300 calories. It's basically kind of the same thing of multiplying by 16, but you can use whatever method that you want. What is this? This is a good guess. So this is not a 100% accurate how many calories you need to eat to start gaining weight. That's going to give you a number. You're going to start eating that number of calories every single day. You're going to weight yourself, and then you're going to track to see, okay, am I gaining weight? Am I not gaining weight? And from there, you're going to adjust this number. That's the point of this formula right here. Get a fucking number, start eating that, just start this process and adjust it over time. It's not about being perfect at first. Just getting started. Just getting the car, driving a bit in the first gear. And then you adjust it, you go faster and faster and all that stuff. So do this calculation. That's roughly how many calories you need in order to start gaining weight. Eat that, track your weight, and you're gonna see exactly, okay, if you're not gaining weight, add another 150. Check again. If you're gaining weight, that's perfect. If you're not gaining, add 150 more. And you just repeat this process until you're gaining weight. How much to gain? I think I have this is basically the next point. So how much to gain? Here's the rule that I want you to follow. You're going to track your weight. I'm going to share right now a short tutorial on how to track your weight. But basically what you want to look for is gaining anywhere from half a pound to 1 pound per week. So from week to week, look to gain anywhere from half a pound to 1 pound. That's it. You're going to say, yeah, but that's not enough. That's enough. You think that gaining more weight is going to get you to build more muscle, but here's the problem. Building muscle, it's a much slower process than gaining fat. When you eat in a surplus, just a part of that surplus is gonna go and be used to build muscle. The other part of that surplus is gonna go straight into the fat, straight turned into the fat, body fat. So you're only gonna get fat. You're gonna get body fat, still gaining half a pound to 1 pound per week. So imagine you follow this for 10 weeks. You can gain anywhere from 5 pounds. 5 to 10 pounds, right? So in this process, you're gonna gain some fat. Accept this fact that you're gonna gain some fat. However, the thing is that you want to minimize how much fat you gain and maximize how much muscle you build. So don't gain more than 1 pound. I know you might think this is not enough, but I promise you, this is enough. This is how you slowly build muscle over time. You're going to add some body fat, but that's not a bad thing if you're really skinny right now. So stick to this amount and you're good to go. Now, how to track your weight? This is very, very important. So what you want to do, you weigh yourself every single morning, right? Every single morning for 7 days out of 7. And then at the end of the week, you make the average. That's the easiest way possible. You make the average of those, and then you compare the average from 1 week to another. That's all you got to do. And you only look from 1 week to another on the average, not day to day, but to average, gain anywhere from half a pound to 1 pound. If you are within this range, you are golden. You're good to go. That's the only thing that you need to do. So another way you could go around this, okay, Marius, I don't want to do any of this calculation or whatever. Fine. Don't do any calculation, but at least track your calories, how many calories you eat every single day, whatever that amount is. You don't need a number, but just go by your feeling. Eat that amount, track how much you eat, track your weight, and then you're going to know. After 2 weeks, you're going to have your averages and you're going to have your calories, and you're going to know, okay, how much did I gain in this period and how much did I eat? I didn't gain half a pound from that week to another, so I'm going to add 150 to that amount of calories that I ate. So you can see there are a lot of ways you can go around this, but just for you, have a starting point, do this formula and just start eating that. It's just much easier for your mind, and you start with the number. So that's that. And then you actually need to know about some high quality protein sources in order to make sure you achieve muscle protein synthesis and you actually build muscle in an optimal way. So there are complete proteins and proteins that are not complete. So a complete protein has all essential amino acids, 9 essential amino acids. And then there are proteins that are not complete. Now, when your body breaks down the protein, it's going to get all these essential amino acids and use them to build muscle. Imagine if you have 9 essential amino acids, it's going to take all of them and build muscle. But if you have only 3 essential amino acids, your body is not going to be able to build muscle properly. So high quality sources, what you can eat. We've got whey protein, casein protein, any lean meats. I think that's pretty much it. and you can eggs as well. We've got eggs and quinoa or something. That's for if you don't want to eat meat or something, animal-based products. So those are high quality proteins. All of them high quality proteins. Of course, you're gonna get some protein that is not complete from the carbs and from pasta or from other foods. But focus on this. Don't overthink it. Just include some eggs, include some lean meats, include some whey protein powder, and you're good to go in your meal plan, right? You're good to go. So bulking made easy. We're still at bulking. We're gonna go to the training in a few minutes. So protein rules, what you want to do in order to make sure you optimize this. So to optimize this, building muscle and all that stuff, you need to follow some rules. Very simple rules for the protein. So what you want to have is in your meal plan, you want to have some protein, let's say 20 grams as a rule. Let's say 20 grams of protein every 3 to 4, 5 hours at max. Don't go more than 5 hours without eating, right? Because every single day when you eat protein, the process of turning that protein into muscle goes up. And when you stop eating, especially protein, that process is going to go down. So if you eat protein every 4 to 5 hours, it's going to keep this process elevated throughout the day. And that basically means you're going to build muscle constantly throughout the day. And that's what you want to achieve. So have some protein, 3 to 4 hours, don't go more than 5 hours without eating, and you are good to go. You don't need to really track, okay, 3 hours left, 3 hours more, let's eat enough protein. You can have some reminders, let's say, to not forget, but just don't really overthink it. Follow these simple rules and you're good to go. I've actually prepared for you a meal plan, sample meal plan that you could use. So for this meal plan, we've got 4 meals, of which only 3 of these are actually meals that you need to eat, and 1 of them is like a dessert or a snack. So meal number 1 is going to be a pre-workout. We're going to have 40 grams of protein, and we've got 2 options, either 2 scoops of whey protein, some coffee, and some fruits, a bunch of fruits, high carbs and high protein before the workout, or you can have some eggs, high quality protein, some bread and fruits, a bunch of carbs. Then you have the workout, and then we're going to have the post-workout. So before and after the workout, you can see we have high protein, high carbs, and high protein, high carbs as well. That's what you want to have. And you can have some meat, some sauce, some pasta, and some fruits as well. And that's your post-workout, and you're good to go. Number 3, soy chicken, rice, grilled veggies. That's good to go in order to, keep everything healthy. But you could also, if you want, repeat the meal number 2. So you can again have some meat, some sauce, some pasta, and some fruit. You can do whatever you want. And meal number 4 is going to be the 4th time when you eat in a day. We're going to have either a homemade mass gainer shake. You add peanut butter, milk, all that stuff. I think this video is going to go over 30 minutes. I think so. It's going to go over 30 minutes, but it's like a lot that goes into it. I cannot make it in 10 minutes, right? So like I said, the homemade mass gainer shake where you add milk, peanut butter, honey, protein powder, ice, all that stuff. Or you can have a protein ice cream that you either buy from the store or you can make it. I know it's popular these days. You buy the machine and all that stuff. You make your own protein ice cream, whatever you want to do. So I would see this meal that is very easy to follow. You've got 4 meals, of which only 3 are actually meals that you need to eat. Nothing crazy. Some pasta, some chicken, some veggies, some fruit, some protein powder, some shake, and that's all you gotta do. And this meal plan right here, you can actually modify it, and it optimizes recovery. You get a bunch of foods, a bunch of protein. You've got high carb, high protein before and after the workout. You don't go more than 5 hours without eating, so it's good to go. All right, let's go about building muscle made easy. So this is part number 2, I think, in this guide, in this full guide. And if you're still watching till this point, make sure you click the like button, because I don't know how long are we in this. 32 minutes. So 32 minutes already, and we've got a couple of more to go. So leave a like, leave a subscribe to my channel, right? I only release educational content just like this one. So if you're still watching till this point, this proves to me and to you that you're serious about this. So you can actually click the first link, the top link, the only link in the description. That's my program, and you're gonna get access to me talking to me and to my program and all of the stuff that I made for you. You can have it in there. Thanks for supporting me and my channel and my work. All right. So building muscle made easy. So we've got a two-step process, right? We can boil the process of building muscle into only two steps. Step number one is stimulating the muscle. So that is doing the work, right? We stimulate the muscle into growing. We send a signal to the body, okay, grow these muscles. And this stimulus, we can achieve this stimulus either through training with weights, resistance training with weights, or body weight. So you can either do calisthenics at home or in the park or whatever you want, because resistance training basically means lifting weights, and in the category of weights, it actually includes physical weights, you know, of the gym, machines, free weights, but also your body weight. So you can either do calisthenics or weightlifting. For most people, I would go with weightlifting because it's much easier for most people, I think, in my opinion, because it's just easier, right? You can start with very lightweight. You can start practicing the movement and all that stuff with lightweight. I know in calisthenics there are as well simple variations that you can start with. So this is just personal preference, right? I would go with weightlifting just because I find it much easier and much easier to do the work, start, and to progress over time. That's just me, right? So that's step number one. We stimulate the muscle. And step number two is recovering. So you can see we send a signal to the body, okay, grow this muscle. But then step two is going to be to recover. And in the recovery phase, the muscle grows bigger, gets stronger. So now we can repeat the cycle. So now after the muscle, it is basically like this. So first we stimulate the muscle. Then the muscle is going to recover, get stronger, get bigger. So then we can repeat the cycle again, stimulate the muscle, then let it recover so it can grow much bigger, much stronger, and then we can again stimulate it and all that stuff. It's basically a two-step process. That's the process right there. Here's literally all you need to do in order to do this. I want you to start training 3 days a week, and you can achieve that in 2 ways or more ways, but this is just the two things that I think are really going to be easy for you to start, right? So you either start with training full body 3 days a week, for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, perfectly fine. Or you can do something that I do. You do upper, then you do lower, and then you do upper again. So you train the upper body muscles twice per week and the lower body once per week. Now, I would go for that. For example, this is perfectly fine. You can do this like this. Monday, you do upper body. Then you're going to do a lower body. You do legs. And then you're going to do upper body again on Thursday or Friday. And then on Saturday or Sunday, you're going to do, let's say you play some sports, football, whatever sport that you want to do. So you're still stimulating the legs two times per week, because you train in the gym, and second, you do some sport, and then you train 2 times in a week for the upper body. That's how I would schedule it, to be honest. And then when you do the upper body or the full time, whatever, when you train, focus on the shoulders, Not the lateral part, not only the lateral part or whatever, the entire shoulder. The front, lateral, and rear part, posterior part. On the chest, full chest, upper, middle, low chest, whatever you want to call it. And then arms and abs. Why? These are gonna get you look very big and also aesthetic. So if you get the big shoulders, you get the big chest, you get the big arms and abs, you're gonna look aesthetic. Of course, you train your back. Of course, you do all of that stuff. You train all the muscles, but with the focus on these muscles. And what does focus means, right? You focus on these muscles by prioritizing them in every single workout. So by prioritizing them means you start with those muscles in a training. So when I go to the gym, if I want to prioritize my shoulders, I'm going to start with my shoulders. And then I'm going to do my back, my chest, and all the stuff. If I want to prioritize my back, I'm going to start with the back, right? And I'm going to leave everything else on the at the end of the workout. That's how you do it. And then if I were to choose only two things to focus on as a complete beginner, I would focus on good technique and training till failure. That's it. If you learn good technique and you focus on good technique and you have a solid base, and from time to time, not every single day, but from time to time as a complete beginner training to failure, you're good to go. You're good to go. There's nothing else that you need to do for a training. Anything else, you're going to overcomplicate it. So what does training to failure means? Let's specify this. So training till failure, in my opinion, is when your form starts to break. And for example, if you do 10 reps and you cannot do one more rep, you cannot do 11 reps, right? You cannot do. If you counted 10 reps and then you want to do 11, but you just cannot complete it, that's failure. If you need to break your form and your good technique in order to achieve one more rep or 2-3 more reps, you've already achieved failure, or you are just right there, very close to failure. That's how I would think about this. So that would be it. How to learn good technique. I think it is also important to do. How to address how to learn good technique. I've got a couple of points for you. One, you can either watch YouTube videos, right? Just literally just search whatever exercise that's in your program. Okay, we've got lateral raises with dumbbells or with the machine. Search the exercise, name of the exercise, how to do with good technique on YouTube, and you're gonna find a bunch of videos. Watch those videos, record yourself practicing that movement, and watch it yourself again. Or better than that, record yourself and then send it to me if you are in my program, and then I'll also gonna give you feedback. Okay, do this, change this, or you're good to go. We don't know. So that's gonna be good technique and training till failure. And then we've got additional tips, right? To be more specific and to add more on this base. So do not overcomplicate this much more than this. I would just start with one set per exercise as a complete beginner. This is for complete beginners, right? Start with one set per exercise. And you're going to say, yeah, but optimal is 10 to 20 sets per muscle per week. That's true. However, you are a complete beginner. Start with one set. If you recover until next session, so let's say you train your chest Monday, you train your chest again on Thursday, and then if you can recover from Monday to Thursday, you're good to go, you're fresh. You add one more set. So now we're going to do 2 sets. If from Thursday to Monday again, you are completely recovered, full, fresh, you add one more set on Monday. So now on Monday, you're going to do 3 sets. If again, until Thursday, you're fresh, add one more set until you get to 4, 5, 6 sets per exercise. And I would stop there. And then I would do progressive overload with reps and weights. So that's going to be in terms of sets. Start with 1, build it from there, and then fail between 8 to 15 reps per set. So I would choose a weight. So when I stop and when I reach failure, it's going to be between 8 to 15. Why 8 to 15? 8 to 15 because I think it's heavy enough for you and you still get a bunch of reps in order to practice your good form. So that's my reasoning behind it. And progressive overload from week to week. You either add one rep and you keep everything else the same, the sets and the weight the same, or you add 1 kilogram from week to week and you keep everything else the same. So on your Sundays, you can actually sit there for 10 minutes and think, okay, how do I want to progress the next week? I want to add 1 kilogram to all the exercises next week because my sets, all of my reps are going to 15 or 16 or 17. So I want to drop that back to 8. So I'm going to add more weight and all that stuff. So you can have something like that. Other stuff. This is the third part. I think we are 35, 40 minutes into the video. The other part. Don't sleep less than 7 hours. Don't sleep less than 7 hours. Because you need to give your body time to recover. The muscles grow bigger in sleeping while you sleep. I know there are some people that can get away with 4 hours a night, but that's only if you wake up without an alarm. So if you go to sleep, let's say at 12, and you wake up naturally at 4 or 5 a.m., and you feel fresh and you feel like, okay, I cannot sleep anymore, I'm literally fresh, you're good to go. However, if you go to sleep at 12 a.m. and you wake up by alarm at 4 a.m. and you are sleep deprived and you want to sleep more, just go back to sleep and sleep more. That's it. Don't sleep less than 7 hours. Supplements and timing. In terms of supplements, I wouldn't even start with supplements. I wouldn't even touch any supplements. But if you want, I highly recommend that you also check with your doctor here, because I'm not your doctor and I'm not a doctor. But the ones that I am taking is omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, vitamin C complex. These are just the vitamins. And then I also take whey protein powder, whey protein, and creatine. Yeah, that was supposed to be creatine. So I only take these. Check with your doctor. I'm not saying take these. I'm just saying what I take. And these are known to work, and they work for me as well. In terms of timing, let's say you want to take whey protein. You can take whey protein any time of the day. I would take it after a workout if you know you don't have time to eat in the next couple of hours. So I would take that only if you don't eat. I would take whey protein in the morning and maybe at night, because I'll go to sleep and I need to have some protein. Casein is better for evening, right? But just don't go into that. And then creatine, you can take it. It's just a matter of saturation here. So you need to take creatine 5 grams or 10 grams, I think. Anywhere from 5 to 10 grams. If you're a bigger guy, maybe 10 grams a day. Every single day for like 2-4 weeks or something like that, until your muscles are... you achieve a level of saturation, and only then you're going to start to see results. So it doesn't really matter the timing here for the creatine. Before workout or after workout, or you can take it with your vitamins right here to make sure you don't forget. But other than that, it doesn't really matter. Here's the thing. One tip for you, because you've been watching this video so far, and thank you for that. If you improve the sleep, that means you 10x your gains. Why? Because the muscles recover while sleeping, and the muscles grow while sleeping. They don't grow in the workout. They look bigger in the workout because they are swollen and there's more blood in them, but they actually grow when you sleep. So if you improve your sleep, you 10x your gains. How to improve your sleep? I'm telling you what works best for me. Cold and dark room, 17 degrees or something like that. I think it's perfect, but it can be more than that. Depends. Non-sleep deep rest meditation just before going to sleep works perfectly fine for me, and consistent going to sleep time. That's all you need to do And that's all I did in order to improve my sleep. All right, so we got to the end of this video finally. If you want the full blueprint that actually works, remember the ocean analogy, with step-by-step actions and my full guidance, I will literally walk you by hand and you can see the results that these guys achieved. Click the top link in the description. I highly recommend that you join the program, you get the blueprint, you get my guidance, and you get this goal. You achieve it, and then you're good to go. You don't need to do anything else, right? Literally, this is my mission to help you achieve this goal. And if I don't achieve this goal, right, for you, you're going to get all the money that you've spent on the program. So there's no, like literally, there's no pressure at all. But I'm pretty sure, 100% sure that you're going to achieve this goal if you enter the program, because you're going to find me there.